Gorgeous afternoon here right in the borough of Lansdale Memorial Park. It is Fire Prevention Month, and here in the North Penn School District, we welcome you all to our program with all of our schools across the district and all of our fire departments from across the North Penn area as well. My name is Kyle Berger. I'm here with Anthony Rubis, and he's going to take us through a little bit of an intro today, and we're going to visit a whole bunch of different exciting fire trucks and equipment, and we're going to show you what it's all about. So Anthony, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Fire Education video. My name is Anthony Rubis, and I'm a firefighter with the Montgomery Township Department of Fire Services. Today, we're here with a bunch of the neighboring fire departments to present to you our fire prevention video. Unfortunately, we're not able to be with you guys again this year due to COVID, but we hope that this video will be suffice. So just like last year, we will be bringing you the video virtually. Like Kyle said, we're in Memorial Park. It's a great day. We have many of the fire departments like Kyle mentioned. Among them are Montgomery, Lansdale, Colmar, Hatfield, and Upper Gwinnett. We are also joined by the Volunteer Medical Service Corps of Lansdale and Jeffstat. Now we have many topics to get to you today, so let's get started.
All right, well, we have a couple of guys here. They're going to show us the gear that firefighters work with. So we have firefighter Carlos and firefighter Jake. So why don't you take us through that?
So here today we have firefighter Carlos. Carlos is wearing our full ensemble of gear. He has a helmet, a face piece, a hood, a jacket, pants, and boots. If he turns around here, you'll see something that looks like a backpack. This backpack device is what holds all of our air so we can breathe in smoky and hot conditions. You can turn back around. All this gear weighs over 70 pounds when it's fully on, so it's quite heavy. You'll notice he looks much different than a normal firefighter would in street clothes, so it's very important, if there was ever an emergency in your house, that you're not afraid of him. He's a firefighter in all his protective gear. He's just there to help us out. When he breathes, if you can bring the mic over to his face piece there, it sounds a lot like Darth Vader. It's important when you hear this not to go under the bed, not to hide behind doors. We're always here to help there. Here he's going to say what you might hear if there was a smoky bedroom fire, and he's coming to help you.
Fire department, call out. Everybody inside need help. Call out.
So again, it's very important if you hear or see one of us in the bedroom or anywhere in the house to come towards them. Do not run away from them. Do not be scared. And again, thank you everybody for coming to watch this. We're happy to be here.
Cool, thank you very much, Jake. That was great.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. And we're over here with Engine 14 from Lansdale. We have Chief Stockard. And before we get to him and his truck, just want to remind everybody out there watching that you can go ahead and submit any questions you may have for our firefighters. NPTV at npenn.org, and we'll answer those questions at the end of the program. So, Chief Stockard, thanks for having us. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your truck?
This is called an engine, and reasons. Got hose, 1 3/4 hoses for attacking fires. And also we got a pump panel here where the pump operator runs the hose lines at different pressures. And in the compartments, we have situated tools, brass. We can make the hoses bigger or smaller. And then here we have our forcible entry tools with our axes and Halligan bars, and all kinds of tools to do any construction you can think. And this is our fire extinguisher film for water extinguishers up here. We got lights, we got fans, we got cords in here for the fans. Come around the back. Around the back here, we got more hose, as you can see here. There's a 5-inch supply line, which we drop on the street if we need water. Actually, 1,000 gallons a minute. You push up to 2 if you get the right pressures. And we got on the top of the truck, there's a generator which runs all these electrical outlets, and we got 400 feet of cord on each reel, so we can go real far away. And then, oh, they didn't open this. And then here we got our 24-foot roof, 24-foot extension ladder, a 12-foot roof ladder. And we got a couple New York hooks and a pike pole. And an attic ladder, which is only a 10-foot ladder. It's collapsible. You could actually open it, stand it straight up. Here we have the little giant, which we use for getting in small spaces. And then this is a blitz fire. We put a 2.5-inch line on there. You just set it on the ground, set it up, just let it go. Move it anywhere you want. And we got extra nozzles and tips.
That's unfortunately as far as our camera's going to reach, so we're going to have to come back around this time.
And then on the other side of the truck, I think we got one here. We got a high-rise pack, first in bag for medical. And the other side just has more tools and different fittings. But
How do you keep track of all the stuff on this truck and keep it organized?
well, every time we come back from a fire, we do an inventory. So every spot has a hanging spot. So if something's missing, then we go look for it. That's pretty simple.
Great. Chief, thanks so much for the time. All right, Anthony, we're going to move on to our next stop. Take it away.
So now we're going to move on to Station 12, Colmar, and they're going to go over some of the rescue equipment that a lot of the fire departments carry, particularly the Jaws of Life. They're a very common rescue tool that all fire departments have. So now I'm joined by Sparky and members from Station 12 who are going to talk about some rescue equipment.
Hello, thanks for joining us today. I'm going to go over the engine rescue at Station 12 Colmar, and just follow me over this way and I'll show you some cool things. This compartment over here is going to be things setting up cones to control traffic. We have pressurized water cans for small fires, such as things like maybe a little garbage fire, things like that. This panel here, this is called the pumping panel. You hook up this with the hydrant to flow water and get water around the truck. And these are the lines you pull when you are fighting a fire. We're going to go over some rescue things also. Over here we have basic tools like sledgehammers, axes in order to get through the front doors. And then in this compartment here, because if there's a fire that we have to go into somebody's house, you're going to be breathing air. We have spare cylinders here, so if you run out of air, you can always tap this and get more air so you can finish your job. This compartment opens up over here. And you just have a little bit more basic rescue tools here. We have like crowbars and getting into cars, hooks, extension cords to run power tools if necessary, bolt cutters here. This right here is pretty much the most important part of rescue. In this compartment here, this is how to make entrance into a car in case of a vehicle accident. Here you have a windshield cutter over here. You have basic tools, hand tools to disconnect the battery or take off doors. If you don't have to use hydraulic tools like he was saying. We have the Jaws of Life for vehicle extrications, and we have cutters. Usually, when doing vehicle extrications, we cut 4 posts of the car to take the roof off, depending on the matter. These are also called the spreaders to get into the door, to pop the doors open, to make an extrication for the patient in the vehicle. We want to disentangle things around them and pull the patient out safely and provide the proper medical attention required. These tools are actually hooked up to a hydraulic generator right here. So you have these the tools are connected by a hydraulic hose, which actually powers it. It lasts a pretty long time. We have things like chainsaws, and then chainsaw just in case you have to make a crazy entry, something's not working off. Especially doing rescues on roofs, this will cut into the roof no problem. You'll be able to ventilate it and get the smoke out and the fire knocked down. I'll show you the back of the truck. Here we have these fans here. These are battery powered, which is nice because it used to be gas powered. That can be a problem in houses, having too many fumes. So these are battery powered. You place them in a at the location of the fire and blows all the smoke out and creates ventilation. Stage lighting we have. This is the 5-inch. This is the hose that hooks up to the hydrant. It's a large diameter, so it flows about. It's a 5-inch hose, so it's very large, so it supplies the truck with enough water to fight whatever battles we have to fight with the fires. To the side, here we have regular toolbox, just anything that doesn't need heavy duty equipment, such as stuff in here is going to be like drills, ratchets, and other small tools that are necessary to do things. And we have this is called if you're doing large buildings, this is hooking up to this is just extra hose to carry to bring to the fire. It's a longer set here. And then talking about rescue, these blocks, they're called cribbing. This builds a basis of a foundation to support the car. So while you're making extrication to the car or cutting it up or maneuvering the car around, setting these blocks up under the car is going to keep the vehicle stable so it doesn't roll over and move around. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. That was a great overview of Engine 12.
And we also have ladders. Ladders are really important as well.
And that brings us to our next truck. We're going to go over to Ladder 17, Hatfield. So take it away, Kyle.
All right, yeah, we're here at Ladder 17. Former student of mine right here. Paul, how you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Outstanding. This is a pretty impressive ladder truck, and it's obviously something that's very important as far as the type of truck that you need to fight a fire. So tell us all about this ladder truck, how high it goes, and what the benefits are of having something like this.
Okay, so this ladder goes 105 feet up in the air. What that does is not exactly the height we need, but the reach. So think about where your street is and where your house sits. That gets us to be able to park on the street and reach out to your house. That is so we can get to the roof and we can cut some holes in it. And I did hear earlier about some saws. We also have some saws here. That's what we're using to get up on the roof, cut a hole. And what we're doing is we're getting that smoke and that heat out because it's really hot, really smoky. We're trying to make it so we can see inside, get it a little bit cooler so we can work inside there. Now, that's what we call ventilation. That is not the sole purpose of this truck, but it's a big part of it. The biggest part of this truck is search and rescue. So if you're inside the house, this is the truck that's going in, searching for you, and we're going to help you get out of the house. It does ventilation, it does search and rescue. With the ventilation, you can see we have some fans here. That's helped obviously blow some of the smoke out of the house. We have lights so we can see inside, and this is also what we call a RIT truck. So what RIT is a special unit just to rescue downed firefighters, to where, say one of the firefighters going in to help you gets hurt, we go in and get them out. Obviously, it's called a ladder truck. We have our 105-foot ladder on top. We also have plenty of ground ladders on this truck to be able to throw ladders to every window in the house.
So when you have a ladder this size, even if a fire isn't necessarily in Hatfield, do you guys get called to assist other townships in their fire experiences?
Yeah, we do. We do cover, obviously, Hatfield. We help out with Lansdale if they have a fire because it takes more than one department to be able to put out a fire. Obviously, with it being volunteer, it's tough to get volunteers anymore, so we're relying on mutual aid a lot more and more. So we go to Lansdale, we've gone to Montgomery Township, Calmer, Talmenton, anyone basically in the North Penn School District, this truck has potential of getting called out to.
Excellent. It's all about teamwork, right?
Yep.
Paul, thanks a lot. And we're going to move on because something you might not think about with search and rescue and fires is a boat, right, Anthony?
Yeah, especially after events like Hurricane Ida we had a couple weeks ago. Boats are an extremely important asset to not only a fire company but a region. We're going to go to Upper Gwynedd, Station 80. They have a boat, and they were called all over the region during Hurricane Ida because obviously most of the region was underwater.
Mm-hmm. My basement can attest to that.
Yeah, many basements can attest to that. So next we're going to pass it over to Connor McCann, who is going to go over the boat that 80s has.
All right, Connor.
How's it going today?
Outstanding. Why don't you tell us about the rescue operation here with the boat?
So Marine 80 is Upper Gwynedd Township's new rescue boat. It's a swift water rescue boat. We purchased it last year. It came in very handy during Hurricane Ida. It's a 14-foot boat. It's got a 40 horsepower motor on the back, which for a boat this size is actually pretty powerful. We can use this in suburban environments and some urban flooding that we have around the area. And it's got all the tools to put life jackets and helmets on people, and we can get people in the boat and out of the water pretty quickly with this thing.
Can you give us an example with Hurricane Ida, how this boat was deployed and what sort of operations you guys had to do?
Absolutely. So this boat was actually deployed in multiple different places across the county. They were in East Norton, and it was actually put into the Schuylkill River, and multiple people were picked up out of their houses off the Schuylkill. So it was a very good tool, and all the Upper Gwinnett Fire Department has just gone through a lot of swift water rescue training. So they now have a whole bunch of swift water rescue technicians, and it's been a great asset.
Impressive with all the flooding that we've had. You guys did great work, and thanks for your service.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on now, and I think up next we're going to visit an ambulance.
Yeah, so moving on from fire department apparatus, we're now going to talk about an ambulance. So we have the deputy chief from the Volunteer Medical Corps of Lansdale to talk about Medic 345.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Deputy Chief Lloyd Duza from VMSC Lansdale. We're the local ambulance that'll cover the whole North Penn School District if you should need an ambulance. You might wonder why an ambulance is with a fire company. Well, when they have a larger fire, we do more than just kind of take care of anybody that would be injured in the fire or anything, but we also provide rehab services for the firefighters to make sure that they're okay. We give them water, we check their vital signs, we cool them down so that they're healthy enough that they can go back in and fight the fire if still need be, or do whatever else needs to be done on the fire scene, clean up and overhaul. I'd like to show you the back of my ambulance so you can see some of the equipment we use. This is our bed, so whenever you go into the ambulance, you're going to go on our litter. It's the safest place for everybody. It's like, even though they can walk, they're like, oh, I don't have to go on that, but it's just the safest place for you. Plus, we can see you and monitor you with our heart monitor there. We can take your blood pressure, monitor your heart rate, see if there's anything going on with that. We can also give you some oxygen if you're having some breathing difficulty, or other medications if you have an allergic reaction, or if you have need for pain medicine because of a fracture or other type of injury. We can take care of that. I like to call this a mini ER, so we can get a lot of stuff done before you actually get to the emergency room at the hospital. That'll save you some time there.
Great, thank you very much for taking us through the ambulance.
All right, we're going to go from the ambulance. We're going to take a walk. Look out there, we brought a helicopter today. So we're going to go check out the Jeffstad helicopter and some of the folks who fly that around and serve as flight medics. And that's something you don't see often, Anthony, but it's a great resource to have in our area.
It is absolutely a great resource to have. When we need a quick response, or when it's a far drive for an ambulance, especially in more of the rural communities, a lot of times the fire department and the EMS, depending on the call, there's a couple circumstances that either call for a medevac or also grounds the medevac. I'm sure they'll talk to you about it, but a lot of the variables depend on the weather and the severity of the injuries and things of that nature. So we're almost to the flight crew, and I'm sure they'll go over all them topics with us.
We picked up a friend too. Sparky's still with us.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
All right, so here we are with the Jeffstad helicopter, which roared in right before we went on the air today. Hi, folks.
How you doing?
Who's in charge here?
That'd be the guy.
All right, so the pilot, Daniel Green.
That's it.
And why don't you tell us about what it takes to get this bad boy up in the air and what your mission is?
So basically, it takes someone to be in critical or in need of critical care. If that happens, it will be toned out at our base. At that point, we have approximately about 10-minute lift time or response time, and then we'll be going directly to where the patient is, and then taking them to whatever hospital is necessary at the time.
What's something that somebody might not know about what it takes to get this up in the air and safely landed to attend to a victim?
It's safe to know it takes a lot of different people. First, you're going to do with the first responders, also the fire department to set up the landing zone. Additionally, the crew that's going to be riding with me, the med crew, and myself as a pilot. And then in addition to that, we also have the dispatch. So Jefferson Dispatch will first tell our dispatch as air methods that we need an aircraft and where that location is. So in total, it'd be about 6 or 7 different portions coming together as one to get the response done.
Now, you guys work in concert with hospitals and transporting patients from one to the other, but
Yes, we do.
What gets priority? Like if you're sitting around and maybe you have something scheduled, a patient transport, and all of a sudden there's a serious accident or a fire that you're needed, how does that process play
So
out?
the scene flight absolutely will take priority. Luckily with us, JeffStat, we have 4 different aircrafts. So for example, if an aircraft is busy out doing different scene run or doing an inter-hospital transfer, then it will just automatically go to JeffStat 3 or JeffStat 4, and they'll be able to respond to it.
Okay. Question for the flight medics here: any different equipment in the chopper versus what we might see in an ambulance?
It's for the most part, it's the same stuff. We tend to try to get things that are a little bit lighter weight because obviously that's a bit of an issue. But the one thing that we have is this ventilator, which some ambulances have, but not all of them. But we sometimes need to be transporting a ventilated patient, someone with a breathing tube, from a hospital to hospital, for example. So that might be, I guess the only other thing that is fairly unique for us is we actually carry blood, so we can give the patient a blood transfusion if needed.
Plus, you get to wear a helmet.
And these cool helmets, absolutely.
Guys, thanks so much for coming out. This is a nice rig you all have here.
Thank you very much.
All right, good folks at JeffStat, we're going to head back over to the parking lot where we're going to talk a little bit about the sounds of fire safety. So give us a little preview about what we're going to see, Anthony.
That's right. So we are going to have the fire marshal from Lansdale, Rick Lesniak, as well as one of the fire marshals from Upper Gwinnett Township, Connor McCann, talk to you guys about this year's theme of fire prevention, which is the sounds of fire safety. They're going to hit on what a smoke detector sounds like and what you guys should do should you hear it in your home.
While we're walking over there, just another friendly reminder to you folks watching out there across the district. If you've got questions for our firefighters, you can email them to nptv@npen.org, and we'll try to answer as many as possible at the end of our show when we're talking with a couple of the fire chiefs. So we're almost at our destination here, the sounds of fire safety. We'll roll on up and let them talk about those sounds. We were going to take the chopper, guys, but we walked it off.
Oh, okay.
So, gentlemen, why don't you tell us about the sounds of fire safety and our theme for this month?
Well, thank you very much. Connor, how are the boys and girls in Upper Gwinnett Township?
They're doing all right.
They're doing all right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about smoke detectors and fire safety.
Sounds good to me.
So what is this sound?
That's the sound of a smoke detector and the sound of safety.
One of these buttons will make it work. There we go.
Yep.
The sound of safety, right?
Absolutely.
And Ryan, where do we put these smoke detectors in our houses?
The smoke detectors are put in every room in all the common areas of your house on every floor.
Except
for the kitchen.
Right, we don't want to put them in the kitchen because they'll go off when you're cooking dinner or breakfast.
Correct.
Exactly. And what do we do when the smoke detector goes off? Where do we go?
We go outside to our predetermined meeting place.
Great. So everybody has a home escape plan, right? You want to make sure you practice it once a month. You test your detectors, and you go outside and meet your parents or family members outside. Connor, where is your meeting place at?
My meeting place is at the bottom of my driveway.
Very good. We want you to meet at the out at the street, so as the firefighters arrive, we know everybody's outside. We don't want you to meet in the backyard or at a neighbor's house. We want to be able to see you when we pull up and make sure everybody's safe and secure outside of the house. So we have our home escape plan. We test it on a monthly basis. How about the maintenance of the smoke detectors? What do we do to maintain the smoke detector? When do we replace them?
Smoke detectors are replaced every 10 years, and you want to test your smoke detector monthly.
Right. Very good. And is there anything we can do to maintain them, to make sure that they stay nice and clean and working as they're designed?
Absolutely. You can always wipe them down, make sure they're not painted over, try to clear them out with any dust that's in there, and then change the batteries on them annually.
Right. And if you just hear one beep every once in a while, let's see if I can do that. Nope. So if it's just one beep, one chirp versus a continuous beep, that means that the battery is going dead or getting low. You want to replace the battery. So remember, one chirp of the battery, one chirp of the smoke detector just means that you have to go and replace the battery, not call the fire department that the smoke detector is going off. Okay. Anything else, guys, you'd like to add from Lansdale or Upper Gwinnett?
Nah, just thank you for your time and stay safe and make sure you keep up with your smoke detectors and be safe.
from personal experience, that chirping only happens at like 2:30 in the morning when you're sleeping.
Of course.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Every time.
definitely.
Every
Well,
time.
we're sleeping too.
Yeah, correct.
Yes,
Correct,
yeah.
exactly. So thanks a lot, guys. We're going to move on now and learn about fire extinguishers, right?
So we actually have a live fire extinguisher demonstration for you guys, brought to you by 2 firefighters from Montgomery Township, Firefighter Backlund and Firefighter Reese. Andrew, how are we doing today?
Great. Hello, friends. Nice to see you again. In front of you, we have our most common fire extinguisher. This is called the ABC extinguisher. And we know that the younger friends of ours shouldn't be using the fire extinguisher. But for the teachers and the parents that are watching, this is usually the fire extinguisher that you see in your house, in your schools, in your businesses. And if you feel comfortable and you see a small fire, you can always use the fire extinguisher to try and put the fire out. And what we can do is, you always want to think of the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim it, squeeze it, and sweep it. And Firefighter Reese is going to show us how to do that acronym right now.
That was awesome. Thank you very much, Firefighter Reese. Andrew, would you like to add anything else about fire extinguishers?
Just that you always want to inspect your extinguisher if you have one at home. It has a gauge on it. It should always be in the green for it to be good. If you have one at home and it's not into the green here, like we see that we just used it, then you need to replace your extinguisher or go and buy a new one.
Great. Those are some great tips. Thank you, guys.
All right, so that was pretty cool. We couldn't do that when we were inside last year. So,
No.
that was nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to move to the Chiefs now for a little Q&A, I believe.
Exactly,
So
yep.
where did they go? Oh,
They are right over here.
All right,
so
we're
we'll
gonna
take
go
a little
right
walk
back over?
Yep, back to where we were.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot again, guys, for being here. First question we have from our kids is, what is the most common cause of house fires, and what's the best way to prevent that?
Hi, I'm Bill from Montgomery Township. I want to give a shout out first to Miss Bridal Paths, Miss Baker's first grade class, and Mr. E's fifth grade class. Sorry, thank you. Most of the fires we respond to could be careless cooking fires in residents, where people leave their cooking unattended and then it turns into a fire at their house.
Best way to prevent cooking fires?
Stay where you cook. Don't leave or go out or forget that you left stuff on the stove. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher present and make sure your smoke detectors in your house work.
How long does it take, and I'll send this over to Chief Stockard, how long is the average response time from somebody calls 911, their house is on fire, to the time when your trucks arrive?
Probably 4 to 6, sometimes better.
Oh, that's impressive. And at what point do you make a determination we're going to need to sound another alarm, bring another fire company in?
Usually pull up and you do a 360 and you see
Okay.
what's going on, and usually you make a decision from there.
What is the most important thing to do? This is another question coming from our students. If your house is on fire and you have to get out, get low to the ground, what should you do to safely evacuate your house?
Get low to the ground, crawl out if you have to, but stay out. That's the most important thing. Do not go back in for your pets. Usually pets find their own way out. Stay out of the house. Most people die when they go back into the home to retrieve a family heirloom or a pet or something of that nature. So once you're out, stay out, low to the ground where visibility is good and there's oxygen, and then have a family meeting place.
Excellent. All right. So we have one more question coming in here. How do you find people who are maybe in a house and trapped? How do you get to them?
We usually go in with the first team. They'll do like a right-hand search or a left-hand search, and they'll crawl around, and hopefully they'll be yelling for you, or if they're unconscious, of course they won't. But we reach around till we find them. We got a thermal imager we can use that helps now, detects the heat. So that we got a lot of help.
Excellent. That's all the questions we have. We're about to run out of time here, but if you guys want to wrap up with any commentary or just some messages to our students, the time is yours.
One last thing is, if you would go out tonight when you get home from school, make sure that your address is posted on the front of your house, your mailbox, that we can see it from the street, so that there's no delay in us arriving on scene and the police, fire, and EMS can get there quickly, find the house, and provide the help that you need.
Excellent advice there. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
Just like to thank everybody for coming out and making this happen again this year, and thank Bill and his team for taking it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Joe.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here from Memorial Park. It was a beautiful day. We want to thank all of the fire departments from around the area who came out. Anthony, great job co-hosting with you. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
You too.
thanks to everybody out in the North Penn School District for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.